Be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my six passions. Rectify my six faults. Bestow upon me the six qualities and offer unto me the six kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours, you have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna! Krishna, Krishna! Sarvatiyo Thakur ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Hithai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate today. Today we have association of His Grace Sundarshyam Prabhu. I'll just give brief introduction of Prabhuji. Prabhuji is born in March 1978. His hometown is Navy, Bombay, and his family is Vaishnav family. Only he has come from Vaishnav family, and from childhood only he has inquisitive to know about God, who I am, who is God. And he did his electrical engineering from Bharati Vidyapit College of Engineering, Pune University. And when he was in that college in 1966, he got in touch with Pune devotees, Radheshyam Prabhu and other devotees. And then Prabhuji became an expert preacher, singer, guide, and he's from 1996 he is preaching to all the youths in different parts of the India. And after that, he didn't went outside for doing job. He immediately after college he directly came to ISKCON Pune.
Because ISKCON Pune was offering better job, the best job, multinational company,
So international company Prabhuji joined.
branches all over the world.
And then since then he has done many services in camp also and in MVCC also. So in camp Prabhuji was heading the department of Vedic literature library, and he was manager of temple activities also, and he was youth mentor, youth guide for the center at Bharati Vidyapit College of Engineering. And after that he is after when this NVCC came, Prabhuji came there, and after that for 15 days he stayed in Pune, guiding all the PDC club boys and brahmacharis, and every PDC class once in a week at least Prabhuji class is compulsory. So and then rest 15 days he travels to Hyderabad, Kanpur, Varanasi, Warangal, guiding youth. So we are very fortunate that Prabhuji has added Dhanbad in also that list. And Prabhuji will hope that Prabhuji will come every year at least once. So Prabhuji has come first time. So when Prabhuji was coming yesterday, so Prabhuji told that I have come here first time. So let's start with Sankirtan. So did not wasted time. He just started Kirtan, and you can see the enthusiasm of Prabhuji. So actually, Radheshyam Prabhu says that he used to fill sadhana cards. Every time he used to get more than 85 or 90 only. So Prabhu told him, no need for you, already sadhana card is now over. But still Prabhuji feels to set example for all of us. So we are very, very fortunate that we are going to learn Nectar of Instruction, that special book from Prabhuji's mouth. So, and Prabhuji will teach us. So we like to welcome to our small center by loudly chanting 3 times. So Prabhuji will be there with us for next 5 days. If somebody wants to talk to Prabhuji, then they can give the name to Smith Prabhu in evening time. So Prabhuji is ready to, and Prabhuji is a very good youth counselor, also is guiding so many people. We also have attended our Purti and Sankalpa and Utkarsha also under Prabhuji's guidance. Prabhuji always used to come to Puri. I think some of you may have attended in Puri. So we are very fortunate that Prabhuji has come to Dhanbad also. So now let's start. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, and all of you also for your warm welcome, reception, hospitality. That is Vaishnavism. Even fallen conditioned souls should also feel at home. That is the way Vaishnavism is. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chaksharo Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Dhamiham Tadati Swapamaktikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Vitapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Guru Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhyatam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shrimate स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशचारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be amongst you all, the students of several colleges, maybe IIT Dhanbad, PIT, and local student devotees. So welcome you all for our discussion on the Nectar of Instruction. I'm very pleased to see your biggest Mridanga stand. I don't think in any temple or voice that I visited, I have seen 9 Mridangas that I saw minimum here. Maybe a little more here and there might be there, but at least 9 were visible. So great. I think your emphasis is on Sankirtan. That's the spirit. Sankirtan moment of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I have been hearing yesterday, whole day, Mridanga was going on. I was wondering, whether in the night also they will be playing Mridanga. Will they allow me to sleep or not? I am a conditioned soul, eating, accustomed to eating and sleeping. Mating, defending not allowed because brahmacharya. So I thought at least eating, sleeping, but then I thought sleeping will be attacked because the whole night Pradhan Sankirtan nocturnal kirtans. Fortunately there are no nocturnal kirtans. So that's great. So very nice, very happy to see this. And also your enthusiasm. I think many are expert in Pradhan playing, Katha playing, singing. Nam Prime Prabhu is there. With I think Sankirtan lover. So that's how Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. Kind of leader according to the subject. Good. So okay, so once again welcome to our discussion on the whole book of by Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Upadeshamrita, which Prabhupada translated in English as the Nectar of Instruction. Very important book. As the book itself suggests, the nectar. So much of Amrit. This will take us to immortality. All the way from our conditioned state to all the way Golok Vrindavan. We are beginning in Dhanbad, but we will end up in Radhakund. So be ready for the journey. No ticket, no reservation required. Only 2 years hearing with rapt attention. That's what is required. Then definitely everybody will reach Radhakund. I have to reach anywhere Radhakund. So I expect that all of you will be with me. By the 11th verse, we will be all in the Radhakund. We will take bath, and that is Golok Vrindavan itself. Hari Bol. So we will also go through the text given by Srila Prabhupada because it's the smallest book in the Bhakti Shastri course. We have Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, 18 chapters. We have Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first section, 19 chapters. We have Sri this Ishopanishad having 18 verses, and this has only 11 verses, and everything is only 93 pages also. So that's why I wish to have complete reading of the entire book, which I will do anyway. Plus, we'll also recite some important verses, and we'll go through the whole book very thoroughly. It's a nectar indeed. And every word is important. As we go through the text, you'll understand how the words change also. You'll clearly see the difference. I will not tell where the difference lies. When it comes, I will tell you. Just see the difference. Now I will not tell. So be attentive in hearing. So as such, there are 12 settings of this nectar of instruction. That means 2 hours each. Totally 24 hours minimum. So that's why when he was asking me to have Gaurang Sabha class and some other class also for devotees, I said no need. This in itself will cover Gaurang Sabha, Nityan Sabha, Gaur Nityananda Sabha, Advait Sabha, Gadadhar Sabha, Shivas Sabha, Gaur Bhaktarunda Sabha, and Panchatattva Sabha, Radha Krishna Sabha. All Sabhas will be covered in this book. You will get to see that. It's very powerful book. And I personally love it. Last time when I did it in Juhu, or the Juhu Brahmacharis, they were around 20-25. So we did it in around 25 hours. Every day 5 hours, so 5 days around. It was nectar indeed. Let us see how Krishna blesses and we proceed with the text. So here we are having every day, Hare Krishna Mataji. We are having 6 to 9 morning, 3 hours. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Monday. So that will cover around 12 hours. And then remaining 12 hours on Saturday, Sunday. 3, morning 3, evening 3 maybe. Then again Sunday also. Something like that is the plan. Let's see how the whole thing proceeds. And you could ask questions in the middle also. And then you may not remember. So that we will cover all possibilities. So first we'll go to preface. Preface is also very important because you can see how every word, I'll tell you also where to underline. As such, you are having the freedom to underline whenever you feel the need. How many of you have your own book? Good. So you are recommended to bring your book. And who are the students? 23 registered students for this course of Bhakti Shastra. They are the most important. They are scattered, I think. In fact, be there for you is the most important. For others also. Okay, so we'll read the preface. The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Very important statement. Nectar instruction opens up with this sentence. This whole movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So we are called as Rupa Anugas. Rupa Anuga. So we follow. Ga means to go. Anu means behind. Following behind. Behind whom? Behind Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the head of entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Rupa Goswami unlimitedly on the bank of Ganga Yamuna Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj. For 10 days he gave him Rupa Shiksha, which begins with Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavanji, 19th chapter of the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very important because how the Bhakti Lata beach is received by a very fortunate soul after wandering through millions of universes. Then he gets to sow in his heart, which he has to till. He has to keep watering through the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. And the creeper keeps growing. It should be given fencing, protection. There should be guarding against Vaishnava Aparad. What are the weeds that grow? That is also explained. Jiva Himsa, Kutinati, Nishiddhachar, Puja Lava Pratisthadi, Yat Upashakhagan. Very nice description. Then the Bhakti Lata, without any obstruction, then it crosses all the layers of universal structure, and it goes in Brahma Jyoti, beyond that Vaikuntha planets, it goes all the way beyond to Krishna Lok, takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, produces ripened fruit of love for Krishna, Krishna Prem. The fruit falls down in the garden when the devotee is still alive on this planet, and he keeps enjoying that fruit of Krishna Prem with his right hand, and with left hand watering continues. Shravanam Kirtanam should not stop. Like otherwise for Bharat Maharaj, it stopped and he went down. He got attached to a deer and left. From Bhava Bhakti, in preliminary stage of Bhava Bhakti, he got lost. He became deer only. Then next lifetime rectified. So Shravanam Kirtanam should be non-stop. One should not stop Shravanam Kirtanam. Even if you are pure devotee, testing the fruit of love for Krishna, it should not be stopped. One should go on. So this is under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. That's why we should be also very clear. Rupa Goswami is not some ordinary soul. He is directly eternal associate of the divine couple, Shri Radha Krishna. He is Rupa Manjari. Among the Sakhis, Ashta Sakhis, headed by Lalita, Vishakha, Indulekha, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Chitra, Champaklata. So the main top is Lalita. And under Lalita's group, there are these manjaris, and in them the head of all of them is Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari came in this world as Rupa Goswami. In his Siddha Deha, he is Rupa Manjari, and in his Sadhaka Deha, practitioner's body, he is Rupa Goswami. So he is not some ordinary soul. Under his supervision, whole Krishna consciousness movement is growing, is spreading all over the world. So no power in the creation can stop the growth of this movement. We find sometimes devotees feel so many problems, in our ISKCON, so many devotees fighting, this, that. Despite all that, it will keep growing anyway. Because Mahaprabhu's desire is there. Prithvi te ache yatanagar adigram sarvatra prachar hoibe morana. So Mahaprabhu has predicted, and it's happening, and it will continue spreading. But we should not create problem. We should know the teachings properly. When we create problem, only when we don't know the teachings. We don't know what is the goal, what to pursue in future. Then we will otherwise, as Rupak Shiksha tells by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will be looking or we will be watering the weeds which look exactly like Bhakti Lata, the devotional creeper, but it is not Bhakti Lata. Just like those who have done gardening might be having experience. Along with the main plant, so many other grasses they grow. They are useless ones. They have to be uprooted. They should not be watered. So same way we should not water these other things. Dishithachar, forbidden behavior. Then Jiva Himsan, killing other living entities, violence to them. And Kutinati, diplomatic behavior, duplicitous behavior. Then Puja, Labha, Pratisthadi. That means profit, adoration and distinction. These are not, I request all of you to switch off your mobiles, because I think quite some are ringing one after the other. We don't want any background music. So we can switch it off or put it in whichever mode by which sound will not come. So profit, adoration, distinction, this is what we may be looking for. And that is seen in many leaders in all religious organizations, even in ISKCON. As the devotees grow beyond particular level, they become so-called leaders, then they become mad for profit. They are ready to give classes only if there are huge crowd of devotees. The rating is there. For my class, minimum 50 have to be there. So then profit, adoration, they want a lot of respect and all that. And distinction, I should stand out. A lot of devotees on YouTube, no problem. But then so much of interest in viewers. How many viewers do I have? 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. But sometimes it's all illusory. Somebody may by mistake open the thing and it gets counted, isn't it? So one more viewer added, but he is, oh, not this, he puts off. But you may be in illusion thinking, oh, I got 10,001 viewers. And all immaterial. And that is also a bit impersonal, because you don't know who the viewers are, who watched, how much they watched and what they understood. And those who are in front of you, you are not bothered about them. You are always on the screen watching how many viewers. So a lot of contamination comes in. It is there, it is watered through asatsanga. So that's why one has to be extremely careful. Here we will get to know who is a powerful leader, a proper leader, through the text that Srila Rupa Goswami presents over here. This is all based on the teachings he received from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there only, for 10 days. He says also, Rudiyasya Preranaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered in my heart and inspired me, gave me the understanding, the knowledge to understand first, and also to elaborate it in the form of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Shri Upadeshamrita, Lalita Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, and several books that Srila Rupa Goswami wrote. So we should be fearless while practicing Krishna consciousness, because we know our leader is Srila Rupa Goswami, not some ordinary person. Certainly Srila Prabhupada is the Senapati Bhakta of the army of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mora Senapati Bhakta. Jadi papi chhade jaye anya desh, Mora Senapati Bhakta. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally has said, if a sinful rascal from India runs to another country, my Senapati Bhakta, commander-in-chief of my army, will go chase them there and catch them and give bhakti there. Hari Bo, Prabhupada ki. Mahaprabhu's statement, Jadi papi chhade desh and jaya anya sthane. He goes to another place. My Senapati Bhakta will go and catch him there. We see Srila Prabhupada went to America, then Europe and so many other places. So we should be fearless. That's the point. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Sri Narottam Das Thakur has sung Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bhuja Bose Yugala Piriti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So he is saying, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoive Akuti. In Pancharatri ki Vidhi, what respect is given to the lotus feet of the Acharya? The same respect in Bhagavad Vidhi is for the lotus lips, from where transcendental sound vibration emanates. So if you see the Sanskrit words or Bangla words, Rupa Raghunatha Pade. Pade means lotus feet. But you see the translation. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, where is the lotus feet word there? Is it there? Then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha Krishna. That is second line. Kabe Hama Bhujya Se Jugala. So where are the lotus feet translated? Pade. Pade has another meaning also. Pad is also there, the words or the literature, all that. Pad is there, na? Pada, Krama, Upanishad, all that. So Pade is, in Pancharatri with a lot of respect. Like if you see Guru Puja, we have Prabhupada's lotus feet and devotees offer flower. Prabhupada's deity, they offer flower, they pay obeisances and all that. In Bhagavad Gita, the same respect to the lotus lips, means the literature given by the Acharya is respected. That's why every day reading Prabhupada books for 1 hour minimum is compulsory. It's very important. If we don't do it, then we will be confused. After years, devotees are confused. Again the same question, a 4th session of device. Who am I? In ISKCON. I'm not sure. Am I brahmachari? Am I grihastha? Am I brahmastha? Or grihachari? Or what am I? So people get confused. In ashram, they get confused about their position, about sadhya, sadhan, what should be focused on, what should be the goal. Thorough confusion because of not reading Srila Prabhupada books. Who is an expert acharya to remove all our illusion? Anybody who reads Prabhupada books for 1 hour daily, minimum, if possible 2 hours, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 12 hours minimum is possible, or maximum possible. Because 6 hours for sleeping, 2 hours for prasadam and washing clothes, taking bath, like that. So maybe 12, 15, 16 hours we could read. So he's saying, reading their literature. So we are getting, fortunately, to read one literature by Srila Rupa Goswami here, Shri Upadeshamrita, that is the Nectar of Instruction. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of science of Krishna. You may underline this, as well as the first line. That whole Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So science of Krishna is taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very important. That's why he said also, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra Ke Nenoi, Yai Krishna Tattva Vetta, Sei Guru Hoy. Whether one is a Brahman, one is Sannyasi or a Kshudra, it doesn't matter at all. If he is the knower of the science of Krishna, Sei Guru Hoy, he can be Guru. Birth doesn't matter in which family, immaterial. But he has to know the science of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally offered this science. The culmination of this science is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam says that, 12th canto, 13th chapter, last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Shamanas Tam Namami Harim Param. That he said, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya, chanting the holy name, whose holy name? Sarva Papa Pranashanam, all the sinful reactions are eradicated. Pranama Dukkha Shamanas, and all the dukkha, distress from one's life is also removed. Tam Namami Harim Param. To that Lord Hari, I offer my respectful obeisances. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave holy name only. Ene Aushadhi Maya Nashibar Lagi Hari Nam Maha Mantra Lao Tumi Magi. तो তোমারে লইতে আমি হইনু অবতার আমি বিনা বন্ধু আর কে আছে তোমার. So for your sake only I have brought this supreme medicine, Bhavaushadi. We have got Bhava Rog, the repetition of cycle of birth and death. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought Bhavaushadi for this Bhava Rog, for Bhava Rogis like all of us. That is holy name of the Lord. Iniche Aushadi Maya Nashivaru Lagi. This will destroy Maya thoroughly. Chanting of the holy name. Harinama Mahamantra Lava Tumi Magi. And I have brought this. I have appeared in this planet, on this planet Earth, only for your sake. Tomare loite ami hoino avatar. Ami bina bandhu ar ke ache tomar. Who is a better brother, friend than myself to you? So we should know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our best friend, nobody else. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bestowing the science of Krishna. So this science only we are studying now, which was offered to Srila Rupa Goswami here in these 11 verses. The most exalted of all activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, Shri Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev, Gopal Bhatta and Das Raghunath. So we know Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna only in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So his outer body complexion, gross body complexion is of that of Srimati Radharani, and inner heart is also of Srimati Radharani. So outside Radharani, inside Radharani, in between Krishna. But originally Krishna only in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Radha Bhava Jyoti Suvalitam Navami Krishna Swarupam. So you may underline that line if you want. To understand the mission of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Shri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadesha Amrit. So very important. Anytime you are confused in life, you feel you are misguided by some leaders, even within ISKCON, read whole Shri Upadesha Amrit and see what's the problem. If the problem is confusion is with you, or with the leader, or with both of you, you will come to know who is guided and who is misguided. If we read regularly, then no problem. Not that when problem comes, then we read. प्यास लगने पर कुआं खोदने की जरूरत नहीं है, कुआं ऑलरेडी हो सकता है, जब भी पानी लगे पी लो. So like that. He gave us this Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction to follow. As Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shikshashtak, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Shikshashtak goes all the way from Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti to Prema Bhakti. Same thing with this also, this book also. It begins on very preliminary note from Shraddha and it takes us all the way to Krishna Prem. We'll see that little later. So we can underline that Upadeshamrita is given so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. How many of you want to become pure devotees? Yes. Not just Hari Bol, you have to read this also. Don't say it's horrible to read this book. You should read it again and again. Prabhupada said this book is for distribution also. I was not knowing this. For at least 15 years or so, I distributed so many other books of Prabhupada, never this one. But somehow I came to know through some devotee. Prabhupada said this book is for distribution also. So then I started carrying this book also in distribution. And I distributed some of the copies of Sri Upadeshamrita also. It's very nice. Because we'll see ahead what all is there in this book. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty. In all spiritual affairs we have this morning program, reading, hearing, chanting, cooking, prasadam, honoring, distribution, preaching. So in all that, what is the first? In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Hari Bol. Are your mind and senses controlled? So I have to ask. Many times we feel I am great devotee. और तुम्हारे भक्त जनों में हमसे बढ़कर कौन, स्वामी हमसे बढ़कर कौन. लेकिन हे राधा गोविंद देव, आपके सभी कोलकाता और धनबाद वैष्णव में हमसे बढ़कर कौन वैष्णव है? कोई है क्या? कोई नहीं. मैं प्रूव करके दिखाता हूँ. तो ऐसा हमारे अंदर का अहंकार है. To smash it, this is the statement. One's first duty is to control his mind and senses. How much are your mind and senses under your control? Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Very powerful statements. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must, now underline, one must promote himself to the platform of goodness, Sattva Gun, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami. And then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. So first, we have to come to the mode of goodness. In goodness, there is control over mind and senses to great extent. By following the instructions of Rupa Goswami, then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. So further progress means from goodness to pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva Gun. But before that, at least goodness. So goodness, I hope you know the characteristics. Who is in the mode of goodness in the four Varnas? Brahmana. Kshatriya is in the mode of Vaishya, passion and ignorance. And Shudra? In ignorance. So Brahmana's qualities are Shamo, Damaha, Tapaha, Shaucham, Kshantir, Arjavam, Evacha, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam, Brahma, Karma, Swabhavajam. So we can all ask ourselves this question. Shamaha, how much do I have control over my mind? Damaha, how much I have control over my senses? Of all the senses, tongue is most voracious and very difficult to control. How much control over tongue we have? When prasadam comes, feast. Harivo, I am body for next half an hour. And again the basic philosophy continues after half an hour. Then again I am soul. For next half an hour I am body. Prabhus, don't remind me of the absolute truth. None of the devotees should speak philosophy from Bhagavad Gita. We are all bodies for next half an hour. After half an hour we will start preaching. We are not the bodies, we are spirit souls. If we remain awake after eating heavy feast, we are not fast asleep, then we will preach. Otherwise after getting up and taking bath. So Shamaha, Damaha, Tapaha, how many austerities we do? Voluntary acceptance of inconvenience. That's why preaching should be in the forefront. In preaching, we have a lot of inconveniences. Like I travel, so in traveling, so much of temperature changes, weather changes, water changes. So, but it is good because that's how we are performing austerities for Krishna's pleasure. Because we are going around to preach Lord's glories. In the earlier times, like Nawab Hussain Shah and many other kings, they would go to other countries to attack and tell their own glories. But when we preach, go out and preach, we tell Lord's glories. And all the austerities we take for the Lord. So Lord will be very pleased. Shama, Damaha, Tapa, Shaucham, cleanliness. How many of you clean some room or something every day? You take the broom and you read some part of this. And how many of you don't do that? You don't touch the broom daily basis. So everybody is touching, huh? Great. All glories to you. Damodar Govind Prabhu ki. I think the leader deserves all the credit for that. So we should do cleaning. Certainly we take bath twice a day minimum. Then we also wear the clean clothes. But apart from that, cleaning the room, we wash our plate also. That is okay. But also we have to clean the room, the area, at least maha cleaning. So regular cleaning we should be involved into. Shama, Dama, Tapas, Shaucham, Kshanti. Shanti means tolerance. So how much are we able to tolerate? The more you tolerate, the more you are humble. Because only one who is not humble, he cannot tolerate. What nonsense! What do you think of me? See, how is he angry? What is he saying? What do you think of me? That means you think I am low, I am high. I am a great devotee. Bhakta jana mein humse badkar kaun hai? So that person is intolerant. Who is not humble? One who is humble, he tolerates everything. He tolerates heat, cold, happiness, distress, insults, honor. Everything he tolerates. So Shama, Dama, Tapa, Shaucham, Kshantir, Arjavam, simplicity. That means Prabhupada's definition of simplicity is, anybody knows? 2 words. No duplicity. Haribo. Such a nice. अरे ये तो क्या है? Opposite word बता दिए. Yeah, that's it. Simplicity means no duplicity. Why he is saying like that? Because all of us know what duplicity is. We are duplicitous. So when we understand simplicity means opposite of my nature, that is simplicity. Because I am duplicitous fellow. So simplicity means no duplicity. Not that one thing is in the mind, second thing is in the mouth while speaking, and third thing we do. Now there is what do you call that? That is there same. What I speak, what I think I speak, and what I speak I do. So that is no duplicity. Shantirarjavam evacha jnanam. He has knowledge. Only in Sattva we have knowledge. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam, and sukham also. The knowledge and happiness. These are the two characteristics of the mode of goodness. Why I am discussing this? Because very important. This book, we will discuss ahead also. How this book brings us to the mode of goodness and eventually pure goodness. So jnanam, and then what is the next last? Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam. Vijnanam is practical realization. We should be able to apply this knowledge, theoretical knowledge that we hear in our day-to-day life. And Astikyam, complete faith in the Supreme Lord. Asti, Bhagavan Asti, iti Astika. Bhagavan na Asti, Bhagavan hote hi nahi. That is Nastik. So Astikyam, faith in the Supreme. So these are the characteristics of Brahmana in the mode of goodness. Next line means most important, which you must have heard thousands of times. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. Many things we do outwardly, externally, but what is most important is the attitude within. Attitude of gratitude decides one's altitude. So gratitude should be there. I am grateful to devotees. But unfortunately it is seen some years later, devotees feel, what is this? I don't like this leader. And what is he doing? And this is not good. He doesn't know how to do management. So many complaints about the devotees who brought us in Krishna consciousness. We don't like them. Or we think, why he's not knowing much. I know better. I'm expert mridang player. I'm kartal player. I'm good singer. So much of accusation of our superiors. So our attitude is very dirty, very bad. It's like gutter water. So that's why Krishna doesn't like our devotional service. If we have wrong attitude, especially not having gratitude. Gratitude is very important. That makes heart soft. And lack of gratitude makes heart hard. Bhakti means softening of heart. Bhakti is the process which softens our heart. As many material desires that we have in our heart, that much heart becomes hard. And as we practice Krishna consciousness, heart starts becoming softer and softer and softer. When it becomes softest, like butter, then comes a butter thief. Most famous butter thief. Raje prasiddham navanitha choram. There is one thief in the world. Number one thief. Nobody has been able to match with him for all time. And he stays in Vrindavan. And that famous thief will come and steal your makhan, like heart. So that is our goal in life. But when we lack gratitude, heart becomes hard. We blame the devotees who brought us in Krishna consciousness. Just like in mundane life, if the child is accusing his parents for not being able to provide certain facilities or something, so then the child is not following properly in his life. Dharma, normal dharma. We follow the highest dharma, Paro dharma. So in Paro dharma, we know the Lord is pleased when Guru is pleased. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasadam. And Guru is pleased when Vaishnavas are pleased. How many of you are initiated here? Raise your hand. Very few, huh? But all of you, those who are initiated and those who are not, you also must be knowing that for you to get initiated by your Guru is not so easy. There has to be somebody in between, the local leader, the president, and he forwards your name to your Guru. Whatever, the president or local leader. That Maharaj, yes, these 5 candidates are very nice. We have tested. They have been aspiring from you and they are following 16 rounds daily. They attend morning program. They do services. They follow 4 regulatory principles. I vouch on their behalf. You can initiate them. So then Guru says, okay, you are telling, you are a leader in this one. I accept. I will accept them as my disciples. You understand? So Guru is pleased only when Vaishnavas are pleased. So that's why we cannot be ungrateful. So attitude of gratitude and attitude of servitude. That I am a servant. All the time I am a servant. Just like I am giving class now. But what is the post? Servant. Whatever I do, I always remain servant. Once His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj said, if you approach me as my disciple, the disciple is approaching. If you approach me as my disciple, I will serve you as Guru. If you approach me as friend, I will serve you as friend. If you approach me as a guide, I will serve you as guide. In all the situations, I remain servant. You heard the words. If you approach me as disciple, I will serve you as Guru. If you approach me as guide, I will serve you as guide. If you approach me as friend, I will serve you as friend. That serve word is there everywhere. No matter what the external role I take, my internal role will be of always being your servant. The servant of the servant of the servant. Gopi Bhartuhu Padakamalyor, Dasa Dasa Dasanu Dasa. So this attitude is very congenial, very favorable for devotional service, gratitude, servitude, and the first principle of surrender is Anukulyasya Sankalpa. All that which is favorable, we have to wholeheartedly accept. So that's why we should be very grateful. We should be always in the mood of servant. Externally, we may do big things, small things. Like I may after the class make clean toilet. So that time I am servant. While giving class also, I am servant only. While taking prasadam, I am servant. While cooking prasadam also, I am servant. All the time I am servant only. Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nitya Das. This is our eternal identity, and we have to act it out. So attitude is very important. Attitude is not seen many times. Sometimes while associating with other devotees also we don't see the attitude. Now our seniors know our attitude. The years later when the devotee has some problem in life or he does some blunders, then others are shocked. How come this Prabhu did like this? Yeah, because his attitude was wrong. He was not having good attitude. And his seniors were telling him, Prabhu, please rectify your attitude. But he did not pay attention. And others did not know only. Then years later he had some big problem in his life. Or he was not chanting properly. When we are in the boss mood, we cannot chant properly. Only when we are in servant's mood, we can chant properly. It's like the South Pole and North Pole, they attract each other. Whereas North Pole, or South Pole, they repel each other. So Krishna is the greatest, Vibhu, and we are the smallest. If that is the understanding, then North and South Pole attract each other. Krishna becomes really all attractive. He is always all attractive. But the rust over the iron of our existence is removed. Then iron is automatically attracted to the magnet. But if that iron, that rust is there, then it repels. So that's why we should never think we are great and all that. We should always remain humble. Radheshyam says many times, Radhe Radhe bolo, छोटे बन के रहो. मुंह से राधे राधे और छोटे. हम छोटे हैं. We are small. So that should be very clear. So advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Go means senses. Swami means master. So we have to become master of our senses. So we should be able to control our senses according to our plan. What is our plan to control the senses? There is no plan. I allow my senses to go wherever they want to go. So that should not be like that. So we have a perfect plan given to us. Basically, lot of spiritual engagements in Krishna consciousness. 24 hours we have engagement. So that we should ensure, so that our mind is not wandering here and there. So perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. Next to be underlined. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrit. So this is must. So you saw what all considered important? Our first duty in all spiritual affairs is to control our mind and senses. What else was recommended? Goodness. The mode of goodness. So we have to come to the mode of goodness. And here, following the instructions given in Upadeshamrita. Some instructions are already there in preface by Prabhupada. What we are going to say are the instructions by Srila Rupa Goswami in the text. But in purport, certainly we get a lot of instructions by Prabhupada. But here I am saying in the preface itself, we are getting so many instructions by Srila Prabhupada himself. So one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrit, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav. But Upadeshamrit, underline, Upadeshamrit constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. Lalit Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, this is for advanced devotees. How many of you are advanced devotees? Only I am raising hand. I should also not. How many of you feel you are neophyte devotee? So this is Upadeshamrit is for us only, if we think that we are neophytes. Upadeshamrit constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly. See the words. Not strictly, but very strictly. Then it will be easier to make one's life successful. How many of you want to make life successful? Yeah. So what you have to do? Follow the instruction very seriously. Not follow the instruction. Follow the instruction. No, not even seriously, but very seriously. Hare Krishna. And then Prabhupada, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami. So that is preface. So now we'll get with the. So any question on this? What we discussed till now? Preface. Any question on preface? Yeah.
When we are initially, that means we have told that we have to come to the mode of goodness, but it is not that we always remain in goodness. It changes. We sometimes came in passion, sometimes ignorance. So what is the best process to at that instant we come to goodness?
It's a gradual elevation. Nashta prayashu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. When we serve great souls and proper books we read, at least 1 hour daily. So then Bhagavatas are two types. Nityam bhagavata sevaya. Always serve Bhagavatas. Prabhupada says there are two types of Bhagavats. Person Bhagavat, Vyakti Bhagavat, and second is book Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat. So these two we should serve. 24 hours should be divided like that. Either I am serving Grantha Bhagavat or book Bhagavat. So Grantha Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, book Bhagavat, or what? Vyakti Bhagavat, sorry, I am using the same words. Vyakti Bhagavat or Grantha Bhagavat. Vyakti Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat, Vyakti Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat. One of the two only I am serving always under. That should be ensured. Then slowly also in between the attack by Maya through more passion and ignorance will happen. But over a period of time, it's like see, I go up, then I come down. Then again I go up, again I come down. Then again I go up, again I come down. Again I go up, I come down. But what is happening? Overall I am making advancement. You saw? Because what happened? Progress is more, coming down is less. Again progress is more, coming down slightly. Not necessarily, but Maya will pull us down. Again I go up, Maya pulls me down. Again I go up, Maya pulls me down. But overall you see, so much advancement I have made. So that will happen. But over a period of time, you will make lot of progress. Maybe Maya will pull you down. Then you will not allow the Maya to pull you down, because Krishna will also give tremendous strength. Mamaiva ye prapadyante mayam taranti te. So you will take firm shelter of Krishna. Then Maya cannot pull you down. So then passion and ignorance is out. Then only goodness. And then eventually goodness is also out. Then pure goodness. So don't worry. It takes time. It's not overnight process. It's a gradual process and it takes time. Patience is required. That will come to the third verse. Yes.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
actually, like no, Prabhupada is giving very much emphasis on controlling mind and senses. So in spiritual life, we see sometimes it looks like that our mind is taking great pleasure in spiritual activities and he has become devotee like and again sometimes it happens we ourselves feel that mind is giving so many thoughts and past impressions. So we feel that am I a devotee or no
Non-devotee.
non-devotee
Or hypocrite.
or hypocrite mind is so much troubling.
Yeah. So this will happen initially, but overall, if you are taking care of not offending Vaishnavas, by always serving Vaishnavas, and then go on with your devotional activities, then over a period of time, you will not find that other side existing. Then you will only make progress. Problem with many of us is we commit offenses to Vaishnavas. And that is because we think superiority. और तुम्हारे भक्तजनों में हमसे बढ़कर बोलो. Internally that is the mood. That's why hearing from Guru, reading Prabhupada books daily is compulsory. Then we understand, oh, I am very insignificant, I am servant. Really, from internally we feel. You understand? Otherwise, externally we put ourselves as very humble, but internally we are having that arrogance of thinking I am great devotee, I am expert in this, I am expert in that, based on superficial things. Then Maya will pull us down. Maya will make us fall down in small way, big way. Then we'll become humble. We'll think, what is this? I'm only making a show. I'm a hypocrite. And that is must because we are offending Vaishnavas. So the Maya's attacks will continue. But If we take Vaishnava Seva as the goal of our life, then all the devotional activities will be very fastly taking us towards the goal. We'll make very swift progress. That's why he says, if you are committing offenses, then how many lifetimes of Shravana Kirtanam? Bahu janma kari jadi Shravana Kirtan Tabutan paye Krishna pade premadhan. Keep on doing hearing, like all of you are now hearing. I am doing chanting. Keep on doing this for millions of lifetimes. You cannot get love for Krishna. Not possible because of offenses. Offenses are the most deadly thing in the practice. Mahaprabhu in all throughout Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur tells, everywhere Mahaprabhu says the same thing. Always chant Hare Krishna and never offend Vaishnavas, or always chant Hare Krishna and serve Vaishnavas. Offense is nothing but in one word, disrespect. And getting rid of offense means respect. So respect Vaishnavas, serve Vaishnavas. If you are serving Vaishnavas, you are already respecting Vaishnavas. So don't worry. Avoid offenses and serve Vaishnavas.
Who is like the past conditionings and
They will all be eradicated. There is
not a big
nothing.
problem.
Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. When you surrender to Krishna, Krishna. But surrendering to Krishna is through Guru, and surrendering to Guru is through Vaishnava. But if you commit offenses to Vaishnava, all your past conditioning will come back, and will Krishna also sow the seeds of material desires in your heart. Krishna will sow the seeds of material desires in your heart. What will happen to you? Total destruction. Isn't it? We are not able to cope up with our own conditioning for millions of lifetimes. If Krishna sows the seeds of material desires, we will be totally finished. So that's why one should not commit offenses. One should just serve Vaishnavas. He says, Narottam Das Thakur's famous statement regarding this in Prabhupada's books. Who knows? Raise your hand. Narottam Das Thakur's statement regarding what we discussed. Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Pai Chekeba. If you give up serving Vaishnavas, how would you be delivered? Impossible. You cannot be delivered. No way. Forget it. You keep chanting 192 rounds daily. And you go to all holy places. You take bath in all the rivers of the creation. You cannot go back to God. By giving up the service to Vaishnava. So what is the goal? Vaishnava Seva. That's all. We have only essence of all our practices, only three. Namaruchi, Vaishnava Seva, Jivadaya. That's all. Nothing else. No fourth thing. Only three things. But Vaishnava Seva, though it comes later, but basically without Vaishnavas we cannot even begin Nam chanting. How many of you went to market, purchased beads and started chanting? Very rarely. 1 among 10 lakhs maybe like that. Isn't it? That also if it takes up. In my childhood I was always chanting Ram Nam on my beads only. Every day 8 rounds, 10 rounds. From childhood I had been chanting. But afterwards in whatever 8, 9 standards somewhere, gave it up. Because no association. The childhood father inspired, you take these are the beads, chant. So I would chant, I would write also Ram, comma, Ram, comma. My goal was to write and chant around 33 crore or some 3.5 crore of the holy name, like that. So I was heading towards that with quite high speed, daily 8-10 rounds of Ram. Ram is very fast anyway, Ram, 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 Ram. One mala maybe in 1 minute or less than that. And writing also. But then because of no association, it automatically stopped. When it stopped and when to start next, there was nothing like that because no association. So association is very important. Association, sadhu sang leads to bhajana kriya. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Just like if we knowingly commit some offenses, then we can get rid of it by begging forgiveness.
This is not that easy because you have to go against your false ego. Unknowingly committed offenses are automatically removed by next day morning when we pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas saying Ancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So that Vaishnava to whom you unknowingly committed offense, he is also there and you are paying obeisances because you don't know only. You don't have any envy towards that Vaishnava. Somehow while walking, let's say your leg touched him, and he's thinking, what is this? How can he kick me? But you don't know. If you knew, you would have touched his body and did like this, but you don't know. You just went past. Next day you paid obeisance, and plus continuing to serve all the Vaishnavas. So in that Vaishnava is also there. Like you go and you give him gulab jamun next day, let's say. Prabhu Hari Bol, please take prasad. Please take gulab jamun. And he's looking at you. Arey, yesterday to lath mara tha. So but then he says, no, it's okay. No, bro, please take. No. I think there are only 2 gulab jamuns per devotee. I already took 2. No problem. You can take my quota also. No? You take 1 from my quota. अरे बहुत अच्छे प्रभु हैं. अपना स्वीट भी मुझे दे रहे. स्वीट प्रभु. तो मेरे ख्याल से technical problem or mechanical. All our Indian devices are generally electromechanical devices. The electricity should be there plus some mechanical arrangement. Just like in the fan in the trains. If they don't start by switching on, switching off the fan, what do we have to do? Do it like that. You can take out your comb or pen, put it. May not start, then one of the 2 directions, whatever works, clockwise, anti-clockwise, something will work like that. So most of the devices are electromechanical devices, not purely electronic. So clear? Yes. Any other? Okay. Then we will proceed to the next. Yes.
How we understand that?
Take the mic.
So as we discussed, like most important is the attitude of the person. So how very difficult to tell the attitude of other person. So how we decide that? We should just
Seniors understand the attitude very clearly. Just like among equals, let's say second year boys of engineering, same branch. They may not understand exactly who is where. But when teacher comes, he understands the difference. Because he knows much more. So he can understand it very clearly. So attitude is seen through your words. How words, we are polite in our speech. That's why we are taught Vaishnava etiquettes. I hope here also you are teaching. I remember in Warangal when I was doing leadership service there. Every day I was teaching only Vaishnava etiquettes, Monday to Saturday. Only Sunday morning was philosophical class. Once in a week, weekly class, that was philosophical. Otherwise, every day Vaishnava etiquettes to both the batches, Nakul group and Arjun group, whatever the group. Both Vaishnava etiquettes. So I became very aware of Vaishnava etiquette. How much they understood, I don't know. They got certificate, positive thinker, self-manager. But I got to know a lot of finer details. So Vaishnava etiquette reveals our speech. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyam hitam chaya. Not speech which is not agitating to others. The leader, it is not applicable for him. The teacher, he can speak very heavy words also for the upliftment of the followers. But as a service only, anyway. But otherwise, Anudvegakaram vakyam. Also, face is the index of the mind. Normal English saying. From the face also we can make out what's going on in this fellow's mind. So that seniors very clearly understand who stands where. Among equals we may not understand, but seniors. That's why being in touch with superiors is very, very important. Many leaders, how they fall down, if you see the history of ISKCON, they were not in touch with any senior. They were like isolated in their own islands, they were preaching. In a big way, nice way. But then when you have so many followers and they say, Ji Huzur, Ha Huzur, Khao Khazur. Means they feed you also very nicely. They have Vas Puja for you on your birthday. And you feel very nice. And then you go crazy. You commit offenses. You are not there. Nobody is there to correct you. Then Maya, that's how Maya rules. No? Maya destroys. Divide and rule. You know, in childhood we have heard that story, 4 cows always together and one lion wanted to eat them, but no way because all 4 together. If you attack one, other 3 will attack him. So he was wondering what to do. So then he went to one cow little separately, said, Thoda sa private. And then he in her ears and said, only for you, don't tell others. So other cows saw and they came after lion went, hey, what he told, That's not none of your businesses. That is only for me, not for you. What is this? Why are you not telling us? Are we not your friend? Okay, then we have nothing to do with you. Then they became upset. They went like that. He separated all four, and then it was very easy. Attack one, no, but other three are there. Very easy. So like that, Maya takes you away from Vaishnava community, and it will make you independently a very big leader. There's no problem, but because we are not in touch with superior, so there's nobody to correct you. And something you are going wrong. Slowly, you have deviated in your spiritual life. Just like the plane which starts from London for Washington DC, but from the beginning only there is 1 degree deflection. This straight route goes to Washington DC. This is London, but it's a 1 degree deflection. You understand? So when it moves, where will it go? No question of Washington DC. It may not go to America only. It may go to ocean or somewhere else. You understand? Because in the long run, it makes lot of difference. You understand? In the beginning, when it is even if 1 degree, it is flying over London only as it takes off. But eventually, it's going completely different and it will not reach Washington DC. It's going somewhere else, some other country, some other continent even. So one has to be extremely careful. Shurasya dhara nishidha duratteya durgam pataste kavayo vadanti. It is like walking on the razor's edge. And Maya is always alert. Maya will not give you up. More you become senior, more you become leader, she will be targeting you only. एक को उड़ा दिया ना लीडर को, नीचे के 100 उड़ जाएंगे. सब हिल जाएंगे. अरे इतने बड़े प्रभु, what a preaching, what a singing, what a leading, cooking, my organizational skills. कैसे ये छोड़ के चले गए? तो अपना तो क्या होगा? तो छोड़ दो. So you have to be extremely careful. That's why more you grow into spiritual life, more you need assistance of superiors. At least one devotee should be there in our life to correct. How many of you have devotee like that? One devotee who will catch your ear. Hari bol. क्या नखरे कर रहे हो? How many of you are? Anyway, most of you are in voice, so you will have one is here only. So, लेकिन इनके लिए कौन है? वो देखना है. मेरे लिए कौन है? वो that is big problem. So one has to ensure that he is in safe hands. Yes. Hare Krishna.
It is very difficult to maintain positive attitude all the time. Sometimes
Maintain?
positive attitude all the time. Sometimes out of anger or sometimes attitude is not good. So how to correct that?
By serving great souls, they will correct our attitude. Dambam mahat upasaya. False pride is destroyed by serving great souls. So we should be always serving under great souls.
I repent that my attitude was not good.
Yes, that is also good. Repentance dawns in the heart of good soul. That is good. But then Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya only. Serving Grantha Bhagavad and Vyakti Bhagavad. Slowly, all these anarthas will be gone. Anartha Nivriti will take place. Then we will have Nishtita Bhajan Kriya. That is steady devotional practice. Before that also it is Bhajan Kriya. Before Anartha Nivriti is Bhajan Kriya. After Anartha Nivriti is also Bhajan Kriya. But the only difference is in before Anartha Nivriti there is Anishtita Bhajan Kriya. Unsteady devotional practice. And after Anartha Nivriti it is steady devotional practice. Nishtita Bhajan Kriya. Nishtita Bhajan Kriya is also in short called Nishtha. But both are Bhajan Kriya. Before Anartha Nivriti and after Anartha Nivriti. Before Anartha Nivriti, the anarthas are there, mainly passion and ignorance. When that is removed, then you have Bhajana Kriya without passion and ignorance. That is Nishtita Bhajana Kriya. Then you are in the mode of goodness. Sitam Sattve Prasidati. You are in the mode of goodness and then you don't get carried away by passion and ignorance. Then you don't become angry. Okay, you understand he is at fault and you correct him, but not by becoming angry. Because anarthas are almost reduced to nil. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Yes.
Passion is more how to control the passion.
Passion will automatically control if we are coming to the mode of goodness. You go above the passion and ignorance. By serving great souls. That's what we are discussing, repeating again and again. Tada rajastamo bhava, kama lobha adesche. When we say serve great souls, another are removed. Then passion and ignorance, both are removed. Tada rajastamo bhava. Kama lobha adesche. When you serve great souls, the anathas are removed, and one gets firmly situated, then the effects of the modes of passion and ignorance, tada rajas tamo bhava, effects of the modes of passion and ignorance, characterized by kama lobha adayaschaye. Passion is characterized by kama, ignorance is characterized by lobha and adayah. Because all the six anathas are nothing but passion purely or ignorance purely or the combination of the two. Lust, pride, greed, envy, anger, illusion. Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mada, matsari. They are passion and ignorance combinations only. So tadha rajastamo bhava kama lobhadeshe cheteyete ranavidham stitam sattve prasidati. Just like, let's say here raining on earth. So one of the things I could do is take umbrella and go out. But then still my shoes, my feet will become somewhat wet. Let's say I wear raincoat, but then also to some extent feet will be wet only. But the best thing is to do is go beyond clouds only. If I go beyond clouds, above the clouds, how will I become have rains? In fact, I don't even need raincoat and all that. You say, "Arey, above cloud, ये थोड़ा आसान है." Yeah, but that's what is goodness, taking you beyond the problems, beyond the lower modes of passion and ignorance. It takes time. As we go through the text, also we'll be going through it. We will be overcoming passion and ignorance and coming to the mode of goodness. It is revealed there only.
Some Prabhuji asked that if you are always in mode of goodness, how can do activities those who are in passion?
How to?
Do such services those required in mode of passion.
Now that is also there in goodness. It is not pure goodness. So it has the contamination of passion and ignorance. So you will be active also. You will not be hyperactive, that is for sure, but you will be active. Because it is goodness, it is not pure goodness. Now your question will be, if we go to pure goodness, then how will you do the activities? Then one has love for Krishna. When you have love for someone, you act for him like mad. You don't think of time, place, circumstances. And if your mother is coming, let's say, to Dhanbad station by some train from hometown to at 1 o'clock in the midnight, and she informs, बेटा मैं कल रात को आ रही हूँ. अरे ओ माँ, वो तो बहुत मेरा नींद खराब हो जाएगा, तो उधर ही सो जाना आने के बाद. मैं इधर सोता हूँ, मैं सुबह आता हूँ 4 बजे उठता हूँ, 5 बजे आ जाता. ऐसे बोलेंगे क्या? You will go, you will get up at 12, or you will not sleep also. You will go at 10 o'clock itself to the station. You will wait there for 2-3 hours. Receive her, pick up all her luggage on your head only, isn't it? Because love is like that. So one who loves Krishna, he goes. Prabhupada, you see, what a lover, great lover of Krishna. At the age of 70, going to West, 38 days. How many of you have traveled for 38 days? Tell me. How many of you have traveled on boat, ship? Even if you have traveled in Mumbai, going to some caves, that how much? Like 1 hour going, maybe 1.5 maximum. 1.5 hours. That's not much. It's 38 days of non-stop travel on sea. Being on the sea is altogether different experience than on earth. I told you, because I travel, the water changes and temperature, weather changes. It affects the body to some extent, but this is nothing in comparison to traveling on sea. There is seasickness, nausea, headache, all because it's a different atmosphere only. None of us have traveled, we don't understand only. So those who go on ship for 1 to at least days, they will understand how difficult it is. Okay? Yes. Any other? Okay, then we will proceed to the next. So now we'll just see the overview of the book. It has a totally 11 verses. And the key themes in NOI are around 7. There are many more, but most important, first is mind and sense control. You will see that so many tips are there for mind and sense control in this book, Shri Upadeshamrita, the Nectar of Instruction. Second, attitude. Attitude also will be addressed. Third, ISKCON's purpose. Several places ISKCON comes. ISKCON means, ISKCON provides the association of those who have not forgotten Krishna. In one case, in one sense, if we see, all of us had forgotten Krishna. But some devotee came in our life, he gave us Krishna, we started chanting, and we became devotees. And we are going on behalf of ISKCON to preach. And that means we are the ones who have not forgotten Krishna. But if you see, we had also forgotten Krishna. So, you understand? But anyway, overall ISKCON. Originally only one person who did not forget Krishna, that is Prabhupada, who began the ISKCON, and he was really ISKCON. We are forgotten Krishna, but we got Krishna from him and then we are giving to others. So ISKCON's purpose will be revealed. Fourth, Guru and disciple. Lot of discussion of what Guru and what is disciple. Then fifth is about Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. That also you will learn. Many tips how to associate, etc. Sixth is devotees. Around three things about devotees. The kinds of devotees, that means Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam. Then their behavior, how to know who is a Kanishta Adhikari, who is Madhyam Adhikari, who is a Uttam Adhikari. And qualifications, different qualifications that they have. That is sixth around. And seventh is Bhakti. Stages and development. What are the stages of Bhakti and what are the development in Bhakti? So these are around 7 key themes in NY, which we'll learn in all these 11 verses with purports of Prabhupada. Then the verses, first, second, third, 3 verses talk about Shraddha. That means, if you have Shraddha, it will be seen through this thing. How much Shraddha you have, that to that degree you will have Vacho Vegam, you will have control your speech. Then Manasa, Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam. Similarly, you will keep yourself away from bad things like Atyahar, Prayas, Prajalpa, etc. That is second verse. And the one who doesn't have much faith in this process of Krishna consciousness, very new people, they are like, how बहुत अच्छा मिलता है इधर मेस में सब थर्ड क्लास इधर वॉइस में बहुत अच्छा फीस्ट मिलता है. I look forward to come every week for prasadam, but they say that 1 hour before you have to come for hearing class. So okay चलो, but खाओ, बहुत खाओ, अच्छा मिलता है इधर. तो श्रद्धा कम है तो इसलिए वो बहुत खाएगा, ओवर ईटिंग जोन में जाएगा. बट वन हु हैज श्रद्धा, ही अंडरस्टैंड, ओ ओवर ईटिंग नाउ बट टुमारो मॉर्निंग देयर विल बी ओवर स्लीपिंग इन जप, सो आई नीड टू कंट्रोल युक्ताहार विहारस्य. So Shraddha, and then also the third verse is Utsaha Nichaya Dhairya. He will be very enthusiastic, one who has more Shraddha. Those who don't have much Shraddha, over the period they will lose their enthusiasm. After 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, then they will say, no, now middle age. Sometimes brahmachari also, no, now even middle age, 40, now I'm 41. So once His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was asked this question by many brahmacharis. There were around 200, 250 brahmacharis, saffron brahmacharis. We had camp in Vada, GV. So one of the devotees asked, Maharaj, how to deal with middle age crisis? Some things, changes happen in the body, and then also mind, also some things happen to some extent. Just like we know puberty. When you reach puberty, the attraction to the opposite sex is enormous, which was not there at all. Earlier, playing with the girls, I like playing with the boys. But when puberty strikes, then no, playing with girls is different. It's a different experience because the lust awakens. Similarly, middle age crisis, something happens. कुछ होता है. So Maharaj was asked, Maharaj, so how to deal with middle age crisis? It's a very serious question. And they're all, almost everybody was, I think, middle age fellows only. All the brahmacharis. I was also there. So then Maharaj said, what is that middle age crisis? The soul has no age. Soul is eternal, always young, fresh. Like that. There's nothing like middle age crisis. And all devotees are, अरे ये क्या है? क्वेश्चन हमारा बॉडी ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे था. महाराज ने धज्जियां उड़ा दी उसकी. तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं कि वो मिडल एज क्राइसिस तो बॉडी के लिए होता है, सोल का तो कुछ एज नहीं होता. तो हो गया स्वाहा. So very nice. So first 3 verses talk about Shraddha, means that will tell you how much Shraddha you have. 4 to 6, 4th, 5th, 6th talk about Sadhu Sangha. How to have loving dealings with the devotees. Tadati pratigranati, guhyamakyati pruchati, bhumte bhojayate chaiva, shadvidam pratilakshanam. Or drishte krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyata. One who is initiated, we should pay obeisances. One who is not initiated, at least in the mind we should pay obeisances. And one who is pure devotee, Uttam Adhikari, we should serve with all faith and completely. So that is 4th, 5th, 6th. 3 verses talk about Sadhu Sangha. And then 7th is about Bhajana Kriya to Ruchi. 1 verse getting into Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha and Ruchi. 4 stages are covered in 7th verse only. Tannama Rupa Charita Disu Kirtanam. All that. No, 7th is Sat Krishna Nama Charitadi Siddhartha. We'll come to that later. Then 8th is Asakti, that is Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtanam. So that is talking about Asakti, attachment to Krishna. Then 9th, 11th, 9th, 10th and 11th, 3 talk about Bhava and Prema. Last 2. So first 3 Shraddha, next 3 Sadhu Sang, 7th Bhajan Kriya to Ruchi, 4 stages, 8th Asakti, 9th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 3 Bhava and Prema. Like that. So that is the division. So now the first one, which is Vidhi. Vidhi means the thing to be done. We have to practice this. There is some nishedh like atyahar, prayas, the things to be avoided. That is nishedh. But first verse is about Vidhi. Also it is about symptoms of a Tridandi Goswami. Anybody who is internally a Tridandi Goswami, externally he may not be, because externally in ISKCON we have many rules for one to get sannyas, Tridanda sannyas. That takes sometimes many years also, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But that is external, that is for organizational preaching and all that matter. We are talking about really being a Tridandi Goswami. And for that internally one needs to be a sannyasi, Tridandi Goswami. So his symptoms, even if he is a grihastha, he can be a grihastha. Externally, he has wife, he has children. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, was he Tridandi Goswami or not? My God, Mahabhagavats were coming to his lotus feet and inquiring how to practice Krishna consciousness. Externally, he was a grihastha. For last 4 years, he was something like Vanaprastha. He went deep in bhajan. But otherwise, till 1910, he was grihastha only, without family responsibilities. So symptoms of a Tridandi Goswami, even if he is a grihastha, and also acting as a Madhyamadikari. He is grihastha, but he is also acting as Madhyamadikari. So by following this, we will become Madhyamadikaris. And to the degree we are not able to control these urges and things given in these 6 urges, to that degree we are in the lower Kanishtadikari stage. The first verse is for memorization also, for those who are doing Nectar of Instruction. It would be asked for completion. Vacho Vegam, complete the shloka with the translation. So it is to be memorized. Please repeat after me. Vacho Vegam Manasah Krodha Vegam.
Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam.
Jivha Vegam Udaramupastha Vegam.
Jiva Vegam Udarapastha Vegam.
Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Dhiraha.
Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Dhiraha.
Sarvamapi Mam Prithvim Sashishyat.
Sarvamapi Mam Prithvim Sashishyat.
So he says, Sarvamapi Mam Prithvim Sashishyat. One can make disciples all over the world. But who? Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Dhira. Vishaheta means tolerates. One who tolerates this Vegas, and thereby he is qualified to be called as a Dhira. He is a sober person. So sober person means not that he is not attacked. He is attacked, but he is watching. Oh, this is the danger. How to get rid, how to resist. Like that. So he is sober, he is thinking, thoughtful, Brahmana. So not that there are no attacks. Attacks are there. By Vacho, Vegam, Manasa, Krodham, all these urges attack him, but he doesn't waver. He doesn't get carried away. So this Vegas, one who tolerates, is a Dhira, and he can make disciples all over the world. What are these urges? They are 6 in number. First is Vacho Vegam, the urge to speak. Then Manasaha, urges of the mind. Krodha, anger. Jiva, Vegam, Udara Upastha Vegam, urges of the tongue, belly and genitals. So all 6 have to be controlled. To the degree one has control, to that degree he is Dhira, and to that degree he can make disciples all over the world. So the translation by Prabhupada: a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So we have to tolerate this. If one can tolerate, then he will be purified and he will make progress. And if one cannot tolerate these urges, he will not be purified. He will not make progress. So it's compulsory to tolerate these urges. It becomes easier when we are practicing chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Just imagine in ISKCON, there was no concept of chanting 16 rounds. Imagine, what would be the case? Those 2 hours are extra with us. What will we do in those 2 hours? We'll do Prajalpa. We'll speak nonsense. That's why ideally it is Kirtaniya Sada Hari. 24 hours, no nonsense. 24 hours only Harinam. But because we are not ready for it, proper when he went to West, he said how many? 64 rounds. To early American Western followers. Can you imagine? Those days also they were so active, hyperactive fellows or whatever, drug addicts and all. Prabhupada said 64 rounds. They said no, Swamiji, it will take 8 hours, quite a long time. Very difficult. Please, some concession. Prabhupada said 32 rounds. They said no, that also 3.5 hours. Very difficult. Please, some more consideration. The Prabhupada said 16 minimum, nothing less. So this is Prabhupada's concession. Otherwise, scriptures don't talk about 16 rounds. Scriptures talk about 64 minimum daily. 1 lakh Harinam we have to chant daily. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told his followers that when they asked Mahaprabhu, please come to our house to take prasad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will go only to the house of one who is Lakpati. And you are all wondering, Lakpati? हम तो हजारपति नहीं, हम रोडपति है, रोडपति. रोड के ऊपर रहने वाले. रोड भी हमारा नहीं है, लेकिन रह सकते हैं, तो रोडपति. They felt all morose. So Mahaprabhu looked at them and said, oh, you did not understand. By Lakpati I mean one who daily chants 1 lakh Harinam. Not 1 lakh cash. 1 lakh Harinam. Then immediately he said, Haribo! Everybody was chanting minimum 1 lakh. The Mahaprabhu's followers. So we have to know that we are fallen souls. No matter how much ever you become proud in Krishna consciousness because of your expertise, talents, whatever that, you have to know your fallen soul. If you are not chanting 64 rounds, you are chanting 63 rounds also, you are fallen. Please chant 64 minimum. So understand? So this is to make us humble. अंदर जो है humility नहीं है, attitude को reform करना है ना. We are here for attitude reforming. So attitude will be reformed by just this one thought that we are fallen if we are not chanting 64 rounds. 16 rounds is nothing. तो बच्चों के लिए भी नहीं है, तो जो ऊम के अंदर है उनके लिए वो. फिर जन्म के बाद 32, युवा अवस्था में 64. तो हम तो अभी जन्म भी नहीं लिए, दूध पीते बच्चे भी नहीं हो, अंदर ही है अभी तक. So okay, so we have to, for purification as well as for progress, control these 6 urges. So the Prabhupada, the way he introduces the discussion is through some background. So we shall go through it quickly. In Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, 1st chapter, 9th and 10th verses, Parikshit Maharaj placed a number of intelligent questions before Shukdev Goswami. One of these questions was, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? Well, in the 5th canto, there was a lot of description of the hellish planets, 28 hells, predominant hells, where all jivas are given unlimited sufferings in different variety. He felt compassionate. He asked how they could be delivered. The first solution given offered by Shukdev Goswami was by this atonement. So if they do prayashchitta, they will get rid of sinful reaction. Then they don't have to go to hell. So he's saying, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? For instance, a thief may know perfectly well that he may be arrested for stealing, and he may actually even see a thief arrested by the police. Yet he continues to steal. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. If you want, you can underline this. This is how we gather experience. First class learning is by hearing only, otherwise seeing. One who is less intelligent gathers experience by seeing, and one who is more intelligent gathers experience by hearing. Prabhupada says in 4 words, Shabda Praman saves time. Please repeat.
Shabda Praman saves time.
Yes. You don't have to experience it. We hear from bona fide authority that this is what it is. and we believe fully, have faith, and our time is saved. Like somebody not let's say on the road, there is some confusion, route is not clearly mentioned, so one goes this way 10 kilometer, then he understand, oh no no not this is wrong, then he comes out and he goes this way. And there he's standing at the junction, and somebody else also wants to follow but he doesn't know he is going there. And if he asks that person, is this the way, this board is a little confusing, no no no, that is not the way, I just had been there 10 kilometer 10 kilometer 20 kilometers were wasted, this way you have to go. So his time is saved, but provided that person is authorized and he is also telling this truth. Sometimes they misguide also. But Shabda Praman saves time. When an intelligent person hears from the law books and shastras or scriptures that stealing is not good and hears that a thief is punished when arrested, he refrains from theft. A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested and punished for stealing to learn to stop stealing. However, a rascal or foolish man may have the experience of both hearing and seeing and may even be punished, but still he continues to steal. So they have that four types of learning. First is by hearing only. Second person wants to see. And third person wants to experience. Oh that fellow he stole and he got arrested. Oh, I should not steal. Third person he said no no no, he did not steal properly. He should have intelligently stolen so that he would not have been caught. But then he gets caught also while stealing. So he understands. Fourth person says no no no, actually I also committed mistake while stealing. I should have been a little extra cautious. Otherwise I would not have been caught. So next time I will steal, but with more precaution. So that is fourth class. So one should not be fourth class or third class or even second class. One should be first class. That is the best. Even if such a person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he comes out of jail. If punishment in jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? Thus Parikshit Maharaj inquired, Drishta Shrutabhyam Yat Papam Janan Api Atmanohitam Karoti Bhuyo Vivashaha Prayashchittam Atho Katham Kvachin Nivartate Abhadrat Kvachin Charati Tat Punaha Prayashchittam Atho Partham Apartham Manne Kunjara Shauchavat. He compared atonement to an elephant's bathing. The elephant may take a very nice bath in the river, but as soon as it comes onto the bank, it throws dirt all over its body. What then is the value of its bathing? Similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will contract these offenses. So like we may be breaking one of the regulative principles, especially this illicit sex. Meat eating, I don't think any devotee will so much do that. At home also, if you are forced to eat meat, you may run away, you may escape. Something meat eating, I don't think. Gambling, we poor fellows, stingy fellows who will put money there. Indians will not do so much. And intoxicants, there also not so much. But illicit sex on the mental platform, sexual thoughts, will not leave us so easily. And they'll also make one crazy because of the propaganda, the media, internet connection, what you call the porn movies and all that stuff. So that one may be doing secretly, but then one cannot make advances. That's what he's saying. He's saying similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will counteract their offenses. Of the 10 types of offenses one can commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord, this offense is called Namno Baladhyasyahi Papa Buddhi. Which offense? Seventh offense. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Similarly, certain Christians go to church to confess their sins, thinking that confessing their sins before a priest and performing some penance will relieve them from the results of their weekly sins. As soon as Saturday is over and Sunday comes, they again begin their sinful activities, expecting to be forgiven the next Saturday. This kind of prayashchitta or atonement is condemned by Parikshit Maharaj, the most intelligent king of his time. Shukdev Goswami, equally intelligent as befitting the spiritual master of Maharaj Parikshit, answered the king and confirmed that his statement concerning atonement was correct. A sinful activity cannot be counteracted by a pious activity. If you wish, you may underline this. Thus, real prayashchitta atonement is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness. So, that is not the way, actually. A sinful activity cannot be counteracted by a pious activity. One will get reaction for main problem is the sin committing tendency is there in the heart. So if the knowledge is awakened, then that is good. Real atonement involves coming to real knowledge. And for this there is a standard process. When one follows the regulated hygienic process, he does not fall sick. A human being is meant to be trained according to certain principles to revive his original knowledge. Such a methodical life is described as tapasya. So this earlier discussion about committing sin, Prabhupada gives a very nice purport in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 37th verse. So I'm just reading part of it. The Prabhupada writes there, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion. That dhayatu vinshan pumsanana. And illusion continues the material existence. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment. You got it? When karma is there, not satisfied, it becomes converted into krodha. So that is natural sequence. Natural means by default setting. But if only one gets into the goodness, then it will not degrade one, but one will be elevated. And that coming to the mode of goodness is by, he's saying, by living and acting. Two things Prabhupada mentioned. By living and acting. So that's why we live goodness, life in the mode of goodness, and we act it out. Taking 2 times a bath, wearing fresh clothes, cleaning area, and all that kind of thing. So goodness practice will help. So this is, he's saying, this is tapasya, methodical life. One can be gradually elevated to the standard of real knowledge or Krishna consciousness by practicing austerity and celibacy, brahmacharya, by controlling the mind, by controlling the senses, by giving up one's possessions in charity, by being avowedly truthful, by keeping clean, and by practicing yoga asanas. However, if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a pure devotee, he can easily surpass all the practices for controlling the mind by the mystic yoga process simply by following the regulatory principles of Krishna consciousness, refraining from illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication and gambling, and by engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master. This easy process is being recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami. So there are 2 methods, as the earlier one was said. You know that so many rules and regulations, tapasa brahmacharyena, shamena cha damena cha, tyagena satya shauchabhyam, yamena niyamena va. You know, one should be a celibate, tapasa brahmacharya, he should perform austerities. त्यागेन सत्य शौचाभ्याम tapasa brahmacharyena shamena cha damena cha, he should control his mind, he should control his senses. Then tyagena, he should give things in charity. Satya, speak truth. Shauchabhyam, by cleanliness. Yamena niyamena, following the do's and don'ts. So this is one in which one is just going on oneself. But if only one takes shelter of spiritual master and follows his instructions, then it will be much easier. So recommendation is for accepting the spiritual master's help and spiritual master's shelter, and under his guidance executing one's activities. There will be devotional activities, and in that these things also will be there, but all for Krishna. They will be purely for Krishna. Just like you can see these yogis, Vishwamitra Muni, Saubhari Muni, all of them practice many of these things, celibacy, austerity, giving things in charity, truthful, etc. Taking baths, several baths. But not so much like in touch with their guru. Isn't it? Like where in Vishwamitra's story we hear about his guru? So much, not so much. He's just going on with his very hard austerities and all that. Similarly, Saubhari and many others. So that is one way. That is also fine. That will lead to Atma Sakshatkar. That one is not body. That realization will come. But I am Krishna's servant. Bhagavad Sakshatkar. That will not come so easily. For that, recommendation is taking shelter of a guru. So now Prabhupada has introduced that, taking shelter of guru, and in that he's saying who is that guru. So these qualifications. First, one must control his speaking power. So we have this power. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj was telling that this tongue, Vacho Vegam, is more dangerous than even Jiva Vegam. Jiva Vegam is what? Eating unrestrictedly. Just keep on eating and all that. But if you see eating, after 45 minutes of non-stop eating or 1 hour of non-stop eating, what will you eat? There is limitation. Even if you like prasad, the stomach gets filled, you cannot keep eating. Just not possible. Automatically there is control over there. But in Vacho Vegam, that control is not there at all. Is it there? There is nothing like, after 1 hour of speaking, you feel tired. No, you will keep speaking. That stomach is paining. That thing doesn't happen. So, Vacho Vegam is very dangerous. First, Vacho Vegam is coming. Tongue is most voracious and very difficult to control, but in that also speaking is most dangerous. The power is there, but one should speak about Krishna. If one speaks about mundane subject matters, he comes closer to death. Kala Sarpa is engulfing him. In Bhagavatam it is said, he says, Ayurharati Vaipum Sam Udyan Astanchayan Aso Tasya Yat Kshanonita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Ayurharati. Just like now your watch, where is it? What is the time show? 7:50. Yeah, so 7:50 of 5th of April 2023. 7:49 is gone. Maybe now, how much? 50 only. But that will also be gone. So it's gone. 49 is definitely gone. So can anyone get it back? How much money you have to give to get it back? Nobody can take it back. It's gone. So Ayu is being taken away with every rising and setting of the sun. We blow off our candles in birthdays. 5th birthday. He blows off. And everybody says, Happy birthday to you. So everybody says, if they say 5, he has become 5. And there, the Yamadutas below maybe, they say 65. After 65 years, we have appointment with him. So they have count down, we have count up. So then when he says 6th, then they say 64. Like that. And then when he says 65, they are saying 5. When he says 69, they say 1. And when he says 70, very good, they are there. So we have to know the life span is gone with every rising and setting of the soul. But tasya ruteya chanonitam. Except for those, this law is not, this is law of material nature, but this, beyond this law is law of the Supreme Lord. So, except for those persons who always speak about Krishna, tasya ruteya kshanonita uttama shloka vartaya. Those who talk about Krishna, with every rising and setting of the sun, they don't come closer to death. They come closer to Krishna. For a devotee, death experience is like opening of the door and entering in Vaikuntha, Golokunda. But for a materialist, with the opening of Vaikuntha, this death gate, he enters in hell because of his sinful activities. For first, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech. As soon as we get an opportunity, we begin to speak. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. Mahaprabhu has recommended Raghunath Das Goswami, Bhalana Khaiba or Bhalana Paribe. But he begins with Gramya Vartana Shunibe, Gramya Kathana Kohibe. Now don't hear village talks. Village talks means in a village, in Chauraha, people come together. And they'll say, hey, uske beti ka kya hua? And what about that boy? He had love affair with that another girl. And what about that man? He stole his brother's property. All talks go on. There's nothing to do with their life, but just time pass. Wasting their time and wasting others' time. And everybody wants to waste their time anyway. So that kind of thing we should not do. We have a lot of things to do. To the degree we are able to control this urge to speak, to that degree we will be accomplishing a lot. We can chant many extra rounds daily. If you just speak little less, So much we speak blah 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 blah, wasting our time, others' time, and sometimes even putrefying Krishna's ether. We should purify Krishna's ether by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna says, one of his opulence is Shabda Khe. I am the words, the sound in ether. So we should not speak something material and pollute Krishna's ether. If at all, we should purify by speaking Hare Krishna mantra or Krishna Katha. Otherwise, you should keep mum, silent. Shut up! Close your mouth. Don't speak. Don't waste your time, don't others. You can put a sellotape there and write there, not qualified to speak. Unfit to speak. And then read Prabhupada books for 2 hours. You will become very nice devotee, richer also in future. So otherwise, Kala Sarpa is gulping us down. Every time we speak material stuff, the Kala Sarpa, is devouring us. We are going deeper and deeper and deeper. Going inside. Age is progressing. You cannot stop aging now. You are youthful, very good. But after 20 years, you say, Prabhu, हम आपके एज के, लेकिन हमारा एज भी बढ़ गया होगा. तो you understand, no? Everybody is going towards that end point only. जातस्य ही ध्रुवं मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म गतस्य च. Every born person will be dead, every dead person will be reborn. So this cycle goes on. So one has to be extremely careful. Life is short. One has to make proper utilization of that. So Prabhupada says, if we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. That makes no sense. There's no point in. So nowadays they have that unlimited talk time. What is that advertise? Unlimited talk time. That means you will become worse. You will pollute all the ether of Krishna. Ideally it should not be there, but because Maya is increasing in Kali Yuga, so this kind of things will be at the peak. A toad in a field speaks by croaking, and similarly every one of us has a tongue, wants to speak, even if all he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake, please come here and eat me. So that snake doesn't have eyes, it cannot see properly in that dark night. But this croaking frog, why is he croaking? To invite she-frog. He wants to have sex. So he's croaking. Drow, 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 drow. Ajao idhar. We'll have sex. And then the she-frog may not come, but the snake comes to know, oh, where is the sound here? So, gulping. So that's what happens. When we speak material speech, then material talks, then we are engulfed by this Kala Sarpa, the snake in the form of time. Kalosmi, Lokakshaya Krutta. Krishna says, time I am the destroyer of all the three worlds. So we have to be extremely careful. Krishna is time, so respecting time means respecting Krishna. Devotees are very careful. One of the first symptoms, one of the symptoms of person in the Bhava Bhakti is Avyartha Kalatvam, not wasting a single moment. So we have to make sure that we are either silent and silently reading Prabhupada books, something like that, or chanting, or if not, then we are speaking Krishna Katha, about Krishna, preaching. Or among devotees, Madchitta Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Parasparam. We have conversation about Krishna. So, okay, Prabhu, what you heard in today's class, or what you read yesterday, or what you heard in some audio lecture. So you tell, what is your current reading? That is good. But not that what is Narendra Modi's next move. What about Bharat-China Union or something like that. That are all useless. It has no consequence. These things will always be like this, and it will take us deeper in the cycle of birth and death. We should not speak about material things. We should speak purely about Krishna only. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. Next, you can underline. The talking of materialistic men and impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers may be compared to the croaking of frogs. Analogy. Frogs croak, invite death. Similarly, materialists and impersonalists, when they speak, they invite death. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. Controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence, the external process of mauna. So also mauna is not required. Why? What I told you, sellotape, that is to read proper books. So, but not that just mauna and just sitting like that, nothing to meditate. Not like that. We don't do that. But that Mauni is also a problem. That Mauni does not speak, so to say nonsense, but then he writes books. And all the nonsense, garbage of his heart comes in that book through the writing. And it wastes other time, energy, money. So Prabhupada says, controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence, the external process of mauna. As Mayavadi philosophers think, silence may appear helpful for some time, but ultimately it proves a failure. The meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Katha, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Katha, you can underline this, is always beyond the clutches of death. So every time you glorify Krishna, Nachatasman Manusheshu, Kashin me Priyakrittama, there is no one more dear to me than he, that servant, who speaks about me to others, informs others about me. So when we are preaching, we are becoming very dear to Krishna. So Krishna is coming closer and closer to us. The death is not coming closer. Death means for us is appointment with Krishna. But for materialistic people, death is very dangerous. Because they know all their plans to settle here are all thwarted, destroyed through that one act of death. But for a devotee is just waiting for Krishna, and Krishna very kindly comes in the form of death and takes him back to Godhead. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. So speak about Krishna, Krishna, Krishna only. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Prana. So we should not waste our and others' time in speaking something else. Where it is extremely required, necessary, there only we may speak something else. Otherwise we should not. So Prabhupada here one after other describes the six urges, and then he also speaks Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, and again he covers this, as we will see here. But any question on this? Vacho Begum? This tongue is compared to rudder, not radar, R-U-D-D-E-R, rudder. If you go to Mayapur, how many of you had been? So when we go on the Ganges in the boat, you'll find that boatman has a rod, iron rod. It goes like this, then it goes below. It goes to the bottom of the boat, it goes below the boat. At the bottom of below the boat, that rod goes in the water. At the end, there is a triangular flap or rectangular flap of wood or iron. So that is called as a rudder. So what happens when he does like this movement, left, right, means clockwise, anti-clockwise. So then this rod below the rudder moves like this below inside the Ganges, and the force, the stream of the Ganges, water is going, and when this happens, then the whole ship, the boat is allowed to take a turn. Boat moves. You understand? Otherwise, it will just go by the stream only. So, but when he does like this, then the whole direction of the boat changes. Similarly, our tongue, though not visible, gives direction to our whole existence. What we speak, just like that huge boat having 50, 100 people in that, but that small rudder, what direction it is put, accordingly the boat goes in a particular direction. The same way our tongue is also like that rudder. That rudder is not seen. I'm sure none of you have seen. The boatman also doesn't see, but sometimes when the ship is in trouble, he may have to see below. Something he'll have to do. But otherwise, most of the people don't see the rudder. Similarly, our tongue may not be visible, but it gives direction to this boat of our human body. That's why what we speak is very, very important. Similarly, it is said that tongue doesn't have bones, but can break your bones. If you say ill names to some others, you are a fool, you are a rascal, then that person may become very angry and break our bones by beating us. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Suppose a person is he is dumb, so that means does it mean that he is one of the urges Pachavevam is controlled?
No, his mind will keep speaking. Material desires are there. How much one speaks, as many material desires he has, that much he speaks. That's why brahmachari is also in particular needs to be extremely careful.